Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the live video on Advancing Mindset. So in this video, I am going to talk about the benefits of reading books. So welcome to Advancing Mindset. We're here live every day. Today I have decided to go live at 9 p.m. It's a bit different. I always go live during the day. But now it is 9 p.m. here at GMT time, just about 9 p.m. And we're talking about reading books. That's why tomorrow we have a session about reading books. You can see the background is a bit clear. I'm casting a page about the 10 benefits of reading books. Reading is good for your mind, for your brain, for your mental health as well sometimes. Now, obviously, if it is a positive reading material, reading book or article, don't read all negativity, then it adds up to that. But we say reading positive materials, which help you develop yourself, your mental faculties. Not about war or crime or someone stealing, theft, murder. All that is reading, but still not beneficial for the brain. It's about reading what is good, what is great, what is fantastic for you, isn't it? So that is what we're talking about, is reading the positive material that has a positive impact or inspires you and motivates you to do something great. And great, I mean moral, ethical, and legal. We don't go about great as in stealing from others, taking other people's things, or stepping on other people's rights. So we go to read about things that are happy to get better, whatever you do. But that is what I'm here today to talk about it, isn't it? So I'm going to talk about a few ways in which you can read. So one thing to ask you is, how often do you read? The question to you is, how often do you read? I know we read lots of materials such as text messages. Nowadays we read, everything is on the go. It's always WhatsApp or text messages or chat. We're always chatting now. People are saying chat is the next thing. People reply to chat instantly. So it's moved on from messages, from mail, from Viber. We had Skype. Now we're on instant messaging is what people are reading at the moment. Also posts. People read the posts. What is on the quote. So the key now is to have a visual image and some words there, and then that's what people read. So reading, we all do read a lot. So, and those who don't know how to talk and read, the ones who are getting problems of being left behind because they don't understand, they're not able to comprehend the meaning of the symbols. So reading is just reading, putting symbols together and understanding the meaning from the symbols. Reading is knowledgeable, is key, is something you must develop as for yourself as a person. So I'm going to talk about it. Let's see if I can cast this onto the screen behind. All right, I'm going to put it on there. Let's see if I can put it in. So I am casting onto that to see that it's going to show at the end. But it's not coming through, is it? So I'm going to cast this message onto there. I'm talking about how. But it is not showing. I want to show it at the end of the day. Where? No. So I can't do a live stream, can it? Never mind about it, but that's fine. So I was going to talk about what I was reading about here. So reading is key. Reading is all about decoding symbols. If you can decode your symbols, and then you can understand the meaning, you can understand the meaning of that behind it. That is a great skill to have, because whenever our words, letters are all symbols put together to create words, meanings, some of which are hidden. So the more you can understand what they are saying and what they mean, you can understand what the logic was behind it and why they use it. Sometimes words trap us. Most of the time, we are trapped by words because we don't know what they mean. We think they mean something else, like morning, good morning. So the morning is when somebody has died. Good morning. The weekend, when weekend. Sometimes we think of a word which means something else, but the original meaning was something else. Apparently, demons were used to be good, and now apparently it's something bad. Sometimes black used to be pale, now it's dark. So things change. Words change meanings. So it's good to know the meanings of words and where they came from. So you understand that. So one way is reading is to understand all those words. That is a great thing to do, isn't it? So I'm going to cast again the benefits. So at the back here. So this is an article on Lifehack, 10 benefits of reading, why you should read every day. Can you see that on there? Yeah, so that is an article on there. So 10 benefits of reading. Why you should read every day. That is the one behind there, right there on the wall. So 10 benefits and why you should be reading every day. To try and make it up. Is it better or higher? Better screen, isn't it? For better lighting. 10 benefits of reading every day. So the benefits there. I am going to go straight through. Let's say reading has a significant number of benefits, and here are 10 benefits of reading to get you to start reading. Number one, you get mental stimulation. Some studies have shown that staying mentally stimulated can slow the progress of, or possibly even prevent, Alzheimer's disease and dementia, since keeping your brain active and engaged prevents it from losing power. So these studies hasn't been proven yet, but this says it helps stimulate your brain. From my experience, it does. If I read something positive, I feel stimulation right there. If a positive quote, something which inspires me straight away, I get stimulated in the brain. Whenever I'm reading something good about kindness, about compassion, about love, about something which is positive in my eyes, it stimulates my brain right here, and I feel the stimulation. So for me, yes, reading does stimulate me mentally. So I do it every day, but now I read once or twice. But yeah, so just like any other muscle in the body, the brain requires exercise to keep it strong and healthy. So that's one way. So what's one benefit of reading? You want to stimulate your brain, because you don't use it, you lose it. So the more you stimulate and keep it active, the less power you lose with your brain. Those who don't use their brain properly, they lose the power, they lose their memories. Because sometimes, like when you forget things, because you don't use them anymore, like those friends who you don't talk about anymore, so they are there, but they're in the back, somewhere in the memory, because you don't use them frequently, so they're not active anymore. Setting your brain. So the more you read, it keeps it active and keeps it in the forefront. So you're always stimulated. You're ready to go. You're reading what's this going on here, what's over there, this and that. So you are very active, and your brain has more power. So that is talking about your brain power. Talking about your brain power. Another way is stress reduction. So they say this as if it's a great story, then yes, stress reduction is very true. So if you have a great story, it must be a great story, not just anything you read. So apparently, so it does for them. I don't get stressed. If I do hours reading, so I don't get to that mental state of depression or stress. But if you feel stressed out, to get a good book with a story, at times you lose yourself in the story. It's good, but it doesn't solve the problem, but it helps you relieve your stress. So most times you come back, oh, stress is gone, you feel good again. You read again, always good inspirational stuff and positive stuff that can help you mentally develop yourself, isn't it? So those are the key things you need to read. So number one is it mentally stimulates you. Number two, it reduces your stress levels. If anything getting stressful to you, try and read something good, a great story which makes you laugh, makes you feel wow, motivates you and says, yeah, I can do it. That is what you should be reading. And of course, number three is knowledge. I think this is one of the top ones. The first one, knowledge, because we read to get knowledge. Always get to read to know what is happening, to know stuff. What is happening? So that's if you're reading somebody's biography, how they did it, what they did. Someone tells you in this book, this is what I did to get here. Talk about history books, talk about newspapers, what is happening around the world, magazines, who is doing that, who is doing this. So it's to get knowledge. Because by reading it, it's a record of what has happened. Reading is good because it's a record of what has happened. Something happened there, it's written down. It's a record. Example is the Great Bible, the Great Quran. You got the Hindu Bible. Those are books written a long time ago. Yes, they've been modified, but not just from the past. So you can read things which happened a long time ago because they're written down, and you can read it again, some story, even a bibliography of someone who, for example, Think and Grow Rich, written in the 1800s. The Science of Getting Rich, all the old books, how to influence people, how to win friends and influence people. These are books written by authors who were in the 1800s, but because they lived on, you've got their knowledge. So somebody can think about, I didn't meet Napoleon Hill or Mr. Carnegie, or Wallace D. Wattles, or Benjamin Franklin. I didn't wish them, but if I read their books, I can get the knowledge that they possessed and read them. So that is the power of reading. That's, for me, that's my number one. You get to get knowledge from people who you've never met, or you've never even seen, or you never heard of, but you get to know the knowledge and you can use that and implement it. Those read out manuals, isn't it? Those who read documentations, they get all the knowledge from how the equipment works, products work. So the more you read that, the better it is. I put a bit higher, it's better. But the more you read that, the more knowledge you get from there. So that is one way. That's my favorite, to always get more knowledge from the books. So I always read personal development books. I always read history. I read about, I'm trying to get into biology, neuroscience as well. I'm trying to also get financial books to read about the knowledge in there. So that knowledge helps me, instead of going for a course or sort of looking for the author, going for many years, I read that knowledge, what they have done, and I implement it. And that has saved me a lot of money, time, energy, because I don't have to go look for the person, I have to pay this money to go there. It's in the books. I read, I get knowledge straight away. I don't have to go pay years to go for the school. It is good, but sometimes if you don't have time or the energy to go to school and it's far away, to read the book itself and implement the knowledge, then you've got your degree already. Just reading a book and understanding knowledge, making sure you know what you're talking about. That is it. So for me, that is my favorite. It gets you a lot of knowledge. Books have a lot of knowledge. Especially I read my favorite book, the Bible. Knowledge from many, many, many topics in the book. So I read a lot. You have a spiritual, knowledgeable, or scientific, or history. It's all in there. So I like that book. It's very good. It has a lot of, some are symbolic, some call rhetoric, some say it is wrong, some say it's right. That's the power of a book. People have a lot of opinions. Doesn't matter what you believe, but I read the books because they have a lot of knowledge in there. And I get to read the book and learn something new. So the old books for me are great, like the old dictionaries, the old encyclopedias. They have a lot of knowledge which have been put out nowadays. I won't say put up, and people don't know about the old history or the old knowledge that was in the past books. So read to get knowledge. As the Bible quote says, people die because they lack knowledge. People personally lack knowledge is important, keeps you alive. How things work, how to survive, how to be wise, how to do that, how to do this. It's what keeps you alive. Knowledge of how to cook your food, how to heal yourself, knowledge of how to speak, how to defend yourself. These things are written in books for you to help for you to learn and implement. So people die not because they're ignorant, because they lack knowledge. People are perishing there because they don't know how to treat themselves, how to feed themselves, how to make money, how to do this, how to do that, how to fix their problems, how to fix the car, how to put their TV, and how to create their own happiness. So all this knowledge has been put in books for you to learn, but if you don't read it, you won't get it. So that's why people are dying, because they lack knowledge. My people perish because they lack knowledge. To know. So you get in the books and read, you get all the knowledge there, because people give it any excuses why we don't read. But reading is key. Look at all the greats. Warren Buffett, one of the richest man, apparently he needs 4 or 5 hours a day. The man who is rich is still reading 4 hours a day. Why? He gets knowledge from every book. The ones who have nothing are the ones who are proud. Oh, I don't read anything. It's too much. The ones who have riches and wealth, 5 hours a day he's reading. So what does that tell you about that? So reading is key. Get the knowledge out of there and use it. Number 4 is vocabulary. So when you read, knowledge plus vocabulary is kind of similar, because vocabulary can be also part of knowledge. As you learn it, you're increasing your knowledge on vocabulary. But vocabulary is more about the words. So the more you read, the more words you understand, the more capacity, the more connections you make in your brain, because now you're using different words, what they mean. So you can have a different angle. You can know how to reply. You can know how to answer. You know what names of places are, things, animals are. Because the times come when you don't say, what is that? I don't know what it is. You don't know the name of it. So it looks like, oh, you don't know that. People think, oh, you're crazy. But it's important to learn. Sometimes, I know it's not your fault, but it's good to have at least general knowledge of things which happen around the world and vocabulary people use. So that's your things, your places, your people, situations. You have to understand the legal language. You have to understand medical language. You have to understand what else can we do? There's legal, medical, ethical language. Love, the language of love. So all these things are there, but if you don't have vocabulary, how to use, how to express your feelings, I love you. I'm deeply in desire of you. I hate you. I admonish. I resent your behavior. So these are words in which I'm very happy. I'm excited. So by having more vocabulary, you can change the sentence and influence somebody's body or emotion just by the words. I hate you. I despise you. I love you. I desire your behavior. Something like that. So you can know how to create the right effect just by using vocabulary. And one way of doing that is by reading. So read around different articles. We don't say we don't have no favorites. We read everything. I'm not saying everything. We read from all articles. Read from finance articles, publications. Read accounting. I read science. I read physics. So I get more vocabulary from those words. And I learned so many words from there. Like, oh, I didn't know that. So reading is beautiful. I love reading. So I read from all genres. I learn from everyone. Yeah, because it's stuff to learn. I don't think I have enough time. If I was 1,000 years old to get all the knowledge, all the vocabulary in the world. For example, the English language has over apparently 600,000 words in the dictionary. Apparently. And I say an adult knows between 20,000 and 40,000 words. So we know less than half of the dictionary, of the words in the dictionary. So we have a long way to go. So and those who read have more power. It makes them powerful because you know how to approach a sentence, people know how to deceive you, how to manipulate you, because they have the power of words and what the meanings, and know how to change the meaning around and make you think you know the meaning. And then they are so lost not because you refuse to, not because you don't know the meaning. So vocabulary is very important. So reading around in different areas, read manuals, publications, read glossaries, index, dictionaries, thesauruses, encyclopedias. Learn about this stuff, this situation. So the words come in as of a place, of a thing, of a person, an animal. Those are nouns. We describe things which are tangible. That's very important. But now you also have the words of situations or verbs which describe actions. We also have words which describe the variables of somebody, how tall they are, how big, how short, how loud. So all those are words people use. So what's the words you want to learn about? I mean, you can add all situations. This is a situation. This is a accent. This is a event. This is a birthday. This is a celebration. This is an anniversary. What's happening? This is a, congregation of the people. So this is a concert. So the words of things which are not really a mixture of people and experience together. So the more you learn those words, you can know how to describe it better. Vocabulary is good when you read. It is important when you read. I repeat, it is very important when you read. So when you read more books, you get more words out of there. And then you move on like that, isn't it? That is fantastic. So another thing now to read now is find other people's views in their books, because people have different vocabulary. So by reading their publications and their readings, you get to learn their vocabulary, learn how they express themselves, the words they use, what emotions they felt, what are their thoughts. You can tell sometimes how they were brought up or what they've been through just from the words they use. My anger, my desire, I was pathetic, I was worried, I felt down. Those are words people use to express themselves, experience. You can feel it just from the words that they use, like this person is going through something. So whenever someone's speaking, listen to the words they use about you and how they explain themselves. Will tell you a lot about somebody. By understanding vocabulary, you understand how people are or people think about you by using the words that they use to express you. I don't think it's a mistake. People say, "Oh, I just came out like that." No, it didn't come out like that because they spoke who they are, but they try to say, "Oh, I just came out like that," and then they pretend that to hide it, to cut it up, and say, "I was just joking." But in most cases, they're not joking because that's what's in their mind about you. So they're using the words they know of how to describe themselves or you. So always listen to people who speak and look at their vocabulary. That will tell you a lot about them and what they think and who they are. If you want to look someone to trust or not, then you can tell them and say, "Oh, that is it." So that is one of the benefits of reading. So you get the vocabulary expansion, you got knowledge. Another one is memory improvement. So the more you read, the more you're using memory. So it picks up going there. So you read more, memory comes better. The more you read, the more you want to get into there. So the more connections you make. The more you remember stuff and more connections, more the brain gives you more words, and remember it becomes more, I'll say, active, alive. Because if you don't read much, nothing to store in there, is there? So the words you read are getting into your memory, they're being stored in there. You don't read much, so they not used a lot, is it? So people don't read much. I've noticed that they don't tend to remember a lot. The memory is very short. Even like 3 words, they can't remember after 1 minute or so. They remember, they've forgotten, like, and how do you remember that? Because I read. So it is true. I've seen people asking me, how do you remember this after 10 minutes? Because I read. So when I read it a couple of times, I put it into my brain, and memory is there. So when after a while I need it, I remember, I think of it, it comes back to my mind because it's right in memory. It's still fresh in memory. I read it, I make sure I understand it, I take notes, or I put it down so it sticks to my mind. So once you use it, memory it gets better. So when I need to use it, the memory, the brain, the mind retrieves. It's like a library. Your brain is like a library. It's a librarian. It gets knowledge for you, it brings it for you. Yeah, here you go. This is what you gave me. I'm giving it back to you. So those are some of the ways that you can use to develop your reading. There are plenty more ways, but I want to talk about those. So there was about mental stimulation, brain activity, and it was about stress reduction. It's also about, we have after stress, I talked about knowledge as well, vocabulary expansion, memory improvement. So there are many more benefits of reading books, but that's what I'm going to talk those 5. So I'll put a link if you want to one of those articles, which you can read in your own time about it. Ta-da. So it is there. So if you want to check it out, I'll put a link there in the chat. But read. We don't read our texts, read our messages, our emails, read our finds. Let's read something more than that, so we can get a broader knowledge of things happening around, people's vocabulary, what they use, what they see. That is better, isn't it? So that is good. So I'm going to stop there. So we're preparing for our book club meeting. So I hope you enjoyed it. So keep reading. Remember, always read. So you're going to get a better picture of what you are understanding, or what you are saying, what people are saying about you, what's happening around the world, what vocabulary you use in this genre, or in this language, or in this tribe, or in this school, in this country. So you don't get lost. You don't look like a fool or uneducated, because you don't know what that means. Sometimes people don't care. They expect you to know something, especially as an adult. So always read around and get knowledge from books and increase your vocabulary. That will help you reduce your stress, press your mental stimulation, and much more. So have a great day. This is Josh from Advancing Mindset. If you like the video, subscribe and click on the bell to get notified when I go live. If you'd like to leave a comment below, that will be fantastic. We shall see you again. Have a great day or night, wherever you are. Goodbye.